Fire razes about 50 shops at Bayan Tasha market in Yobe. Abuja fire victims share heartbreaking stories, plead for support. Kaduna workers protest non-implementation, shut down public offices amid a low turnout by NLC. And on the foreign scene, President Biden arrives Angola for long-awaited trip. Hello, welcome to News Update on Trust Television. I am Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. An early morning fire has razed down no fewer than 50 shops at the popular Bayan Tasha market in Damaturu, the Yobe state capital. According to an eyewitness, the incident started at about 2 a.m. on Tuesday morning when electricity was restored in the area. At the time, all the shop owners had closed. However, the swift response of the federal and state fire services helped in putting out the fire from further destruction. Although there was no loss of life, already the response team of the State Emergency Management Agency was on ground taking stock of the properties destroyed and a number of shops affected. The fire incident happened exactly 1 year after an inferno destroyed shops at the same Bayan Tasha market in 2024. Meanwhile, a devastating fire broke out in early hours of Monday, ravaging Trademore Estate Market in the Federal Capital Territory and destroying goods and properties worth hundreds of millions of naira. Trust TV's Noel Sampson, who visited the wreckage of the once bustling market, reports that affected victims are appealing for help from government, and a well-spirited Nigerians has no fewer than 36 shops were razed down. The report.
This is the aftermath of yet another fire disaster, one that has plunged many traders into a state of devastation. Victims of the fire incident recounted how they discovered that their shops had been consumed by the fire and how much they have lost.
Actually, I was in my shop. I was sleeping. It was around 3 in the night, 3 o'clock in the night. So I hear my guys, my people, they stay together there because almost the guys where they stay for their shops because of insecurity. So as I hear the shout, they are saying break that place, break that. I was thinking of thief. So as I eventually I come out, I discovered that it's fire for one of Bendo shop down. Her name is Jennifer. So we tried to off the fire.
I am the owner of the plaza. We have 36 shops here. They all got burnt. We have lost over 200 million here during this fire incident.
You can see from the rims, you are trying to save. What are you saving? You're saving carcass. You're saving burnt items. What will you do with it? I, for one, I know I've lost close to 7.5.
It was the security that came to guard on our gates. The market was burning. I rushed out. By the time I got to this place, thinking that we can be able to bring anything out, but dying, a pin, I cannot bring that from there. The labor has been laboring for so many years. I could not bring any pin out. It's more than 15 million. Please, on behalf of my colleagues that are here, we are like 2 people that have 3 shops here, and our shops, everything got burnt down. I'm begging whoever that will show mercy on us. Please kindly come to our assistance.
I have 3 shops. I have plastic, it's waste product. I have food stop, 2 pack, 2 shops. And my shops is more than 20 bags of rice inside the one shops. And 3, I can't calculate, I can't count because my shop is very loaded. My shop, in short, I don't know where I will start. I don't know where I will stop.
Personnel of the Federal Fire Service were handy to help arrest the fire, as the FCC controller gave an insight on their response and the importance of having a fire service post at the estate.
Immediately we received that call from the control room. They turned out immediately, 4:37. Within 2 minutes, they responded. But getting here, the distance is also there. The nearest station that will turn out is the Federal Fire Service Soka outpost and the Federal Fire Service EFCC outpost. But within 4:45 they are here fighting the fire. Yes, what I can say is that the private organization or the private owner of this estate is supposed to make a collaboration with the fire service, particularly Federal Fire Service. Not only the security that is so important, likewise, as you can see, the outcome of this safety is also important.
Market fires in Nigeria have become a distressing regular occurrence, highlighting significant gaps in infrastructure and emergency services. No, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from fire, public offices in Kaduna were under lock and key on Monday as a result of industrial action embarked upon by the Nigerian Labour Congress due to failure of the government to pay the new minimum wage to civil servants in the state. The union embarked on the strike following the directive of the National Executive Council that state councils should proceed on indefinite strike pending the fulfillment of minimum wage by the state governments across the country. The report.
The Kaduna State Secretariat and other public offices were under lock and key as the organized labor in Kaduna State embarked on an indefinite strike. Although the state government had earlier announced the implementation of the new minimum wage in the state, the recent industrial action by the organized labor is contradicting the earlier pronouncement of the state government.
Really, the state government has attempted to start paying minimum wage in the state, but good number of people, workers in Kaduna, are still receiving less than 70,000 as minimum wage. Although there are a good number that receive the 72, some with 1,000, some with 2,000 as addition to their salary, some with 20. There it is not according to what we have negotiated. This is the bottom line.
Many civil servants were stranded as they were denied access to their offices, while others remained at home observing total compliance of strike. The indefinite strike, according to the organized labor, will only be suspended when the government is ready for genuine negotiations.
We are following the instruction. We are abiding by the instruction of the national headquarters, but our doors are open. We are ever ready. When the government wanted to reconvene the discussion, we are ever ready. We are partners in progress, whereas we have no any other standard than Kaduna State. We are for the progress of Kaduna State, but we have a constituency. The working class, particularly Kaduna State civil servants, are our constituency.
Although businesses and other activities are going on smoothly in the metropolis, the public service has, however, been disrupted by the strike. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Part of efforts to forestall an indefinite strike by the state chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Zamfara state government has signed a memorandum of understanding with labor unions on implementation of the minimum wage. The agreement, signed on Monday evening, came after a series of negotiations between representatives of the state government and NLC officials. The agreement also addressed other labor-related concerns raised by the union, including issues of improved welfare packages for state workers. NLC chairman in the state, Sani Haliru, confirmed the suspension of the planned industrial action, stating that the MOU marks a victory for workers' rights. He praised Governor Dauda Lawal's administration for its willingness to engage in dialogue and prioritize workers' welfare. Edo State's Governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, has sworn in 3 judges who were initially rejected by Godwin Obaseki's administration. 5 of the judges were sworn in May this year. The governor, who supervised the swearing-in of the 3 judges into the bench of the Edo State High Court at the Festival Hall in Government House, recalled that in his inaugural speech he had promised to look into the case, noting that the day presents the privilege to right the wrong. The governor noted that 11 months after the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, only 5 of those recommended were sworn in as judges by the immediate past administration, leaving out 3, even when they had all been cleared and recommended by the same NJC. Governor Okpebolo said no one should be discriminated against, marginalized or hated for personal reasons or on account of not having a godfather. The governor added that as judges of the State High Court, they are expected to uphold a high standard of conduct, ensure fair dispute resolutions, uphold the rights of citizens, and bring culprits to justice. Ex-agitators Phase 2 on Monday morning staged a peaceful protest against United Bank for Africa (UBA) in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital, over the freezing of their leader's account. The protesters, mainly beneficiaries of the amnesty program, expressed frustration over the bank's action, which they claimed disrupted their financial activities and welfare. They accused UBA's management of making it difficult for them to access funds crucial to their livelihoods, particularly amid the current economic challenges. The account had been frozen due to a motion on notice filed at the Federal High Court Yenagoa Division. The motion was brought by Tare Sekaleme, the applicant, against Akpos Passman as the first defendant alongside Uba and Dr. Dennis Utuaru, Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta Affairs and Administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, listed as the second set of defendants. The freezing of the account was ordered as part of an interlocutory injunction sought by Sekaleme after the protest which took place peacefully in Yenagoa. The United Bank has unfrozen the account of self-styled General Akpos Passman at its Onokpa branch.
The reason why we are here, there was a court order from the Magistrate Court to Tororua, and we went to the same court and get a vacation order to vacate the previous order. And when that order was vacated, we come to this bank. And Peter Odafe, the customer service manager, said there is another order on freezing the leader's account, whose name was Passman. And we requested to know the particular order or the said order. Surprisingly, he come with a motion on notice. Every Nigerian that is privileged to law, or you know how to read, understand what they call motion of notion, motion on notice. Motion on notice is a filing in the court where the court will call for a hearing on that matter, and lawyers will canvass. If the judge so wish, it will grant an order based on that motion on notice. But I speak with you, the only thing before this bank is motion on notice, and the CSM said that is an order, and that makes him to freeze the account of our leader.
We have discussed with the authorities of the bank concerning the restriction of our general's account. Our resolve is that we should leave the bank, and that by 11 a.m. this morning, our general's account will be on freeze. That is, they are going to freeze the freeze account. And onward the disbursement of the monies to our various accounts will be made. So for us to be obedient to the law of Nigeria, we have agreed to leave the bank.
Somebody brought a motion on notice, and the bank used that motion on notice to block my account, that is to restrict my account. That is said that motion on notice is a court order. So I was telling them, I said, this thing is not a court order. The only means you can use to block my account is by a court order, if it is an order from the court. But it's an illegality for you to use a motion on notice. You know, motion on notice simply means that the person just filed in the court. The judge has not discussed about it. The court has not determined anything concerning it. They just filed. It's just like somebody writing an application to a company for unemployment. So that's what the bank used to restrict my account. I said this is an illegality and I will never.
Nigeria has expressed its readiness to deepen strategic ties with South Africa, particularly in infrastructure development and capacity building in the mining sector. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegwu-Ojukwu, disclosed this during the opening of the 11th session of the Nigerian-South Africa Binational Commission in Cape Town. Addressing the ministerial session, Odumegwu revealed that Nigeria has prepared a draft memorandum of understanding to collaborate with South Africa on the certification and capacity development of Nigerian mining geologists and other professionals in the sector. President Bola Tinubu and Cyril Ramaphosa, South Africa's president, are expected to jointly lead discussions on critical areas of collaboration. Discussions at the BNC cover trade and investment, political consultations, consular and immigration matters, defense and security cooperation, banking, energy, manufacturing, and social sector collaborations. This year's session is particularly significant as it marks the 25th anniversary of the Bi-National Commission established to strengthen ties between Africa's two largest economies. This is news updates coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, economic hardship, just tricycle dealers lament rising costs of operations. This and more to come after the break. Do stay. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. Fire razes 50 shops at Bayan Tasha market in Yobe. And fire victims share heartbreaking stories, plead for support in Abuja. Moving on. Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, a renowned scholar activist with an international reputation, has been celebrated by friends and family on the occasion of his 70th birthday. Known for his extensive work on democratization and governance in Africa, Professor Ibrahim has been a leading figure in civil society, including serving as the chair of the West African Civil Society Forum. To honor this milestone, a symposium was held, bringing together dignitaries from various walks of life. Noel Sampson, who was present at the event, provides further details.
The symposium was a testament to Professor Ibrahim's significant impact, with attendees leaving their busy schedules to pay tribute to this remarkable individual. Speakers lauded his contributions and shared heartfelt anecdotes.
For decades, Professor Jibo, and we call him Malam Jibo rather than Oga Jibo during our time, dedicated his life to shaping minds, inspiring hearts, and nurturing the potential of countless students. His unwavering passion, patience, and kindness have left an indelible mark on our lives. As we celebrate this milestone birthday, we express our deep gratitude for the profound impact our teacher has had on our academic, personal and professional journeys.
Congratulations, Professor Jibo. I never knew you as Malam or as anything else, but as Professor Jibo. And may the Lord God grant you good health of, I always beg God at our age that we have good health of body, mind, and soul, and in that order. May the Lord bless you.
Ahmed Ibrahim Jibo, as we his friends fondly call him, 53 years ago, when he was just 17 years old. That is when I first met Jibo. It was on one Saturday evening in 1971. Hakim Bab Ahmed and I were on our way to Tukutuku in Zaria from Government Secondary School, Zaria, now Al-Huda Huda College, where we met Jibo, who was together with a friend, Shehu Yahaya.
The event also featured a panel section where experts delved into various subjects. Professor Ibrahim himself took to the stage to share insight into his journey and the motivations behind his activism.
Maybe to make one or two comments about the work I've done, my understandings of the situation, and the prominent role identity has played in my life and in my work. I think in a way it all started when I was 11 years old, 1966.
Professor Ibrahim has authored numerous books, monographs, and articles published in esteemed journals. He also served on the editorial boards of several scholarly publications. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Dealers and owners of tricycles in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have decried the soaring cost of tricycles in the country. According to them, the current price of tricycle is negatively affecting their business and, by implication, their daily survival. Ado Musa completes the report.
The cost of various brands of tricycles was found to have increased between 150% and 237% from 2014 to 2024. The price of a new tricycle, also known as keke napep, is currently sold at the rate of 3.4 million from the dealers. With tricycle manufacturers exploring CNG-powered tricycles, the cost could exceed to 4 million naira. This has left many wondering what could be the reason for the surge in prices of the commodity.
The cost, there are so many things attached to it. Tax from government, then the dollar exchange rate, which is unstable for now, is fluctuating. So contributes, then this fuel subsidy removal is part of it.
Some tricycle owners who loan the keke to riders explain how they are faring in the business.
Not
long ago, we purchased a new keke napep between 1.5 million and 1.7 million. But today, the price has skyrocketed, creating serious challenges between us and the riders. While some start and complete the loan repayment peacefully, others default midway despite assisting them. Before we loan over 7, but today I can only afford to loan 3 because of the hike in price. Before now, the price was cheap and we had a very peaceful transaction. But with the hike in price, we have no choice but to add the difference to the initial price. In every business, they aim to make profit. So whatever we do is in that direction. Prior to this time, we used to repay our loan within just 4 or 5 months. But now we collect the tricycle at 5.5 million. Due to the price increase, we cannot repay the loan even in 4 years. And by the time you manage to complete the loan, the keke must have suffered wear and tear. Passengers cannot afford our new prices, which have become necessary because fuel is very expensive. It hasn't been easy at all for us. Youth who are mostly engaged in the tricycle business say, with the hike in its price, the situation could push them out of the job. They are calling on the government to find a solution to the lingering surge in the prices of goods and services in the country. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now to story outside Nigeria. President Joe Biden arrived in Angola on Monday for his long-awaited first presidential visit to sub-Saharan Africa. Thousands of people lined the streets as Biden entered Angola's capital, Luanda. Biden's first stop in the Atlantic Ocean island nation of Cape Verde for a brief closed-door meeting with Prime Minister Ulysses Correa El Silva in Angola. Biden plans to meet with Angolan President João Lourenço, visit the National Slavery Museum and travel to port city of Lobito for a look at the rail project. Biden promised to visit Africa last year after reviving the U.S.-Africa summit in December 2022. The trip was pushed back to 2024 and delayed again this October because of the Hurricane Milton, reinforcing a sentiment among Africans that the continent is still low priority for Washington. The last U.S. president to visit sub-Saharan Africa was Barack Obama in 2015. Speakers at the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, COP16, which is taking place in Saudi Arabia, have warned that action needs to be taken to protect life on Earth. The COP16 meeting in Riyadh runs from December 2nd to December 13th under the theme, Our Land, Our Future. The event aims to bring together world leaders experts and community representatives from around the world to work towards land restoration and fight desertification. The UN Weather Agency reported in October that 2023 was the driest year in more than 3 decades for the world rivers, as the record hot year underpinned a drying up of water flows and contributed to prolonged drought in some places. It added that the warming world is leading to erratic rainfall pattern, extreme heat, and periods of drought.
The numbers may seem big, and they are big. We need $2.3 trillion by 2030. But if you look at the world as it is today, that is the budget we spent this year or last year on defense. And that is the exact amount that we are spending on environmentally harmful subsidies. So you and I, as taxpayers, are subsidizing activities that are being harmful to our environment, being harmful to ourselves, and being harmful to our land. So if we re-engineer that subsidy and reinvest it in land-friendly activities like land restoration, you will not spend more money. You will just change the way we are spending the money that we are generating today.
And with that, we've come to the end of News Updates here on Trust TV. Do not forget that you can follow us across all our social media platforms or join our live stream on YouTube for more news, more programs, and more documentaries. Thank you for watching. My name is Lilian Okazi. Bye for now.